It's going to be a good one. Global Patang Pierre laban sa Meralco Bolts. It's a battle of the upstart.
That's something they need to be careful of. They need to protect those possessions. Pangalawa, he said, si Warner, Calvin Warner, ang kilalang import, second smallest import in the conference, he ran out of wind. That's the dilemma that Globalport faces because they're number 2 in the league in fast break points. They like to run up and down, but their import has to keep in step with that kind of pace.
Well, Kinito, you're talking about turnovers. There's the first turnover of the game of that offensive foul. Going to be called on Kramer.
Neto, napakagandang matchup sa backcourt. Jimmy Alapag versus Terence Romeo. Alapag, certainly a long-range bomber, very intelligent player, and he'll use all his ability to play mind games against Terence Romeo.
First 2 points of the ball game there in that putback. Let's see if they can really bring down that number of turnovers you're talking about, Kinito.
What about the defensive matchup right here? It's Newsome, not Alapag against Terence Romeo. So a big guard going up against Terence Romeo in that matchup.
Taha from the side, knocks down a 3. That 3-point shot brought to you by Oppo F1 Selfie Expert.
Yan ang paboritong spot ni Taha, that corner. And he feels that he's got the advantage in height against
Silicon Valley, Airtime 1, Heat, Nice Day Coffee, Defco, Smart, Kambal Pandesal, Pure Foods Crispy Fried Chicken, Monte,
This is about ready. Pin down for them already. Curl it. Then come back again. They'll come twice. So let them curl the first one, get them again.
Novotel,
Then once you
JC
receive it,
Premier,
look for him moving to the basket. If you don't have a shot, you have a shot.
R18 Jewelry, Pinoy Rojo, FFIs, PBA.
Now, Stanley Pringle of the Globalport Batang Pierre will be out for this game due to a left ankle sprain. Initially, the doctors advised him to rest for 2 to 3 weeks, but when the management and him got a second opinion from other doctors, sinabi na he will be out for only 2 to 3 days, and this ankle sprain has been a recurring injury for Stanley, and the coaches need him to get back to practice ASAP. That's why he needs to sit out this game, and because of this adjustment, Terence Romeo is ready to work in tandem with other guys from their rotation, and Romeo is confident that he won't have to do the work alone. Now, let's turn you over to our panel.
offensive rebound gunning like Calvin Warner, getting the shot and a three-point play opportunity. Ang bantay nyo dun si Faundo. You know, you would much rather have an Onuaku on Calvin Warner in that matchup defensively para sa Meralco. And, you know, I'm continuing to wonder, why is Meralco not going to Onuaku? He's such a big guy there. That's the touch that he needs up close. Who can stop him? Who can stop him?
Once he gets inside that paint, talaga hindi na talaga siya mapipigil. That was his first touch, and immediately he delivers with 2 points. Also, a very early timeout na tinawag ng Globalport at lamang sila ron, Kirito, at that particular stage. I'm wondering kung ano yung nakita ni Coach Bido na hindi niya nagustuhan.
I think they're looking at creating some mismatches and taking advantage. And Faundo is the man who's taking on Warner because Warner is playing the outside.
That's 4 points ready for the import.
Right, and Meralco wants Onuaku close to the basket where he can get the rebounds, the defensive rebounds.
Onuaku once again, that time a little bit too strong.
Now he's taking too much time in trying to get inside position. And when you take too much time, that defense will collapse on you, so you've got to be quick in moving closer to the basket.
Kramer, his shot is short. Here's Hodge. They've got numbers. Newsome all the way. That's going to be a goaltending violation. First 2 points para kay Newsome, who we featured earlier during our pregame. Let's take a look at the Dean's List.
For Globalport, dapat ingatin nila yung turnovers because sabi nga natin, they're #1 in turnovers in the league. Gawin nilang parang karerang F1 itong laro na to, meaning to say you run up and down. They're #2 in the league in fast break points. Then you've got to set up the outside shots because Meralco likes to play tough defense in the half court. But if you play with a good perimeter game, then it'll loosen up things if you're thinking of attacking the inside.
Romeo with the inside incursion once again. He will head to the line for 2 more free throws. Pangalawang foul na yan ni Faundo.
Terrence Romeo going to work very early in this contest. Alam niya wala si Pringle, so the scoring load double on his shoulders for this game with Pringle out.
$14-10 ang ating score. Lamang ng 4 ang Global. Make that now 15-10 after that free throw coming from their main guard, Terrence Romeo. Jimmy still at point. Nice to see Jimmy back in action, Quinito.
Yeah, that's right. You know, he gives a lot of presence to this team. And again, they go to Onuaku at the post, but they're doubling him now.
Quick double. Hodge there with a jumper. It's not going to drop. Another rebound here for Warner. He's got 4 already.
You're noticing here that Onuaku, he needs to be able to release that ball a lot quicker than what he's doing.
Warner can't get that to go. That's a big board there by Hodge. Hodge, 1 against 3, attacks. Puts it back all by his lonesome inside the paint.
That's tenacity on the part of Cliff Hodge. You know, he's one reason kung bakit undefeated pa ang Meralco.
They go inside of Washington. Washington against Hodge. They swing that ball around. Taha thought about that 3. Here's another good defensive play coming from Hodge.
Yeah, he's all over the floor.
He's Mr. Energy.
He attacks the basket with impunity. He gets those offensive rebounds, provides second chance opportunities para sa kanyang mga kasama. And take a look at our Dean's List for Meralco. Unang-una, huwag palampasin sa quota. Meralco's #1 in the league in defense, giving up only 88 points a game. You want to put a lid on the offense of Globalport, I would say 90. Tulong ng second pangkat, meaning to say yung second unit ng Meralco dapat makatulong. And then finally, lubusin nila ang ilalim ng Globalport. Globalport is playing really without a natural center. Now they try to fill in that gap in the middle by bringing in Dorian Peña. But that's really because they're finding it difficult to have someone play center.
Well, Dorian Peña has actually slowed down already, but he is a big body, Quinito, and I guess pagdating sa width, talagang masasabayan niya to si Onuaku. But that's about it. Onuaku there is complaining.
Well, he just got hit in the face by Dorian Peña.
Well, Dorian Peña is not there to be nice to him.
And there's an offensive foul, illegal pick by Dorian. He's got to know that once he sets a pick, you can't move. Yan sinasabi, nimuestra ni Coach Pido Harencio, how to set a pick. Watch it right here. There's, oh my gosh.
Oh, there, that was clear. He was still moving. Binigyan pa niya ng isa. Yung dumarating na offensive player. Defensive player, check that.
Here's
Balik sila
Dorian
kay
Peña
Onuaku.
against Onuaku. And they're called a foul on Peña.
Well, the feet of Dorian Peña, Quinito, are not as quick as they used to be before. But as I said, he is a big body. Tignan natin. Mukhang ito Meralco. Babalik na naman dito sa loob. No, they will not go to Onuaku yet. Newsom kicks it out. Hodge with a jumper. Not gonna drop.
And Dorian Peña making sure that he gets the rebound stat and not Calvin Warner.
Kitang-kita natin, inagawan pa niya yung kanyang kakampi para sigurado naman meron naman siyang positive stats.
Oh, look at that. There was a pick set, high pick set by Dorian Peña para kay Terrence Romeo. But nandun si Onuaku, you watch it right here. Nakawala na si Romeo. Little bit of a shake and bake. Inabutan siya ni Onuaku.
That's what he's there for, to be the last man on defense. Romeo once again was left open, can't get that to drop. Nabong there with the rebound. Ujek in para kay Faundo. Newsom on the outside. JD, Jared Dillinger in the ball game for the first time. Dillinger attacks, gets denied, but Nabong is there for the putback.
Well, Warner got the block, but there's got to be somebody else to clean up the boards. Dapat may kakampi si Warner to be able to get the rebound once he blocks the shot. And that's Dorian Peña. That's his job.
That's a poor pass.
Oh, he warded off. Jay Washington warded off.
He didn't actually have to shove the player. Medyo nauna naman siya sa bola.
Ito yung sinasabi natin, partner, no, as we see this pass. And Jay Washington warding off Pasera Mer. And talking about the Mer, the point that we were making in our deeds list, dapat makatulong ang second unit ng Meralco. And that's Samer, that's JD Dillinger, that's Gary David. Those guys have to step up here big time in that second unit.
Pin down.
Next foul,
Okay.
we'll shoot. Next foul, we'll shoot.
You pin down for JD. Okay. All right. Renze, you pin down for Basara.
Take the ball out.
You take the ball out of him. Okay. Make sure we get it in bounds, huh? All right. Go right into the post.
I got two on. So we're still moving. I got two on. I got two on.
Got Romeo on him. Post him up right now. Okay. So Renze, you're down. You should be the one. So Renze, give him a little bit of space though. Gotta work on Romeo post, okay? All right.
Hey, as soon as they help. That's a top already. How long?
D&D. Kinakailangan sila sa araw na to, Kinito.
Yun ang sinasabi natin about yung tinatawag natin na pangalawang pangkat ng Meralco. That second unit has to be there for Meralco, especially when you're going up against a high-scoring team like Globalport. But more than that, I think it's their defense. Meralco is #1 in the league in defense. They've got to be able to limit Globalport to yung quota natin na sinasabi, 90 points or less to enhance yung chances ng Meralco to win.
Newsom couldn't take advantage of the height that he had over Sumang. Terrence Romeo left by his lonesome. The ball falling in the hands of Jensen, who also just checked in for the first time para sa Globalport.
Jensen
Check that,
giving
it's
them,
Semerad.
yeah, Semerad giving them a second chance opportunity, which is important.
Shaking, baking. Peña with a jumper. He had to put that one up. Shot clock was at 1. JD against Semerad.
Again, yung punto sinabi natin, Meralco turning Romeo into a passer rather than a scorer.
Nabang with a shot there from the 15-foot line. Nails it. He's got 4 points.
And that's his range. And Meralco now taking the driver's seat. This is where Meralco plays its best, when it's playing good defense.
Sumang can't get that to drop. Big rebound by Jared. Here's Amer. Sumang to beat. Actually, he's got 4 players in front of him and says, let's wait for my teammates. Stops, pops, and hits! Magparandam sa inyong paboritong PBA idols using Shout, a new way of expressing yourself quickly and easily. Punta lang sa sports5.ph and look for the Shout tab para magpabati sa inyong mga bida dito sa Liga. Libre po ito with no registration required.
7 players from Meralco have now scored. That's good balanced offense.
Dorian trying to find some space. He throws that one up. It's not going to go. He might have to be replaced. Newsom once again. Okay, Onuaku there with a floater. Makes it. This is now the biggest lead of the ball game para sa Meralco.
You know, you have to admire the maturity of Onuaku. He's only 28 years old. But this guy played for 3 teams in the NBA. He played for the New Orleans Pelicans, Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Minnesota Timberwolves. And he's the all-time leading field goal percentage leader of Syracuse University, hitting 64.8% from the floor.
Right now, let's go to Sel.
Yes, Anthony, now Meralco wants to take advantage na nakukulangan ng inside presence ng Batang Pierre. And now in the next place, we should expect the Bolts to keep slashing and protecting the shaded area. Back to you.
At yun na nga yung ginawa nila, Sel. Nakita natin ito si JD umatake kaagad. He had the advantage there. It was actually a 1-2 break, but he just took it straight to the hoop, Kinito.
Oh, it's very clear that Globalport has no inside game right now. And hirap na hirap sila maka-score from the inside. And that's the reason yung sinabi natin, you've got to be able to set up your shots from the outside. That's where they can hurt Meralco the most.
Alam mo, Kinito, napag-usapan na nga natin ito, no? The fact that ito si Warner is the smallest import, itong kupunan ng Globalport, they need size. Do you think somewhere down the line, they may have to go to a bigger import?
Well, I think so. I think Warner is not the answer to what Globalport requires. They need a big guy inside. The fact that they had to bring up Dorian Peña to play even a few minutes here in the first period means that naghahanap sila ng malaki. Jay Washington, Keith Jensen, those guys are forwards. They're not centers.
Even Mamarel, who checked into the ball game here and tries to hit that jumper a little bit too strong. Gary David is checked into the ball game also. Here's Amer. Nagmamadali.
Talagang inaalat na ang field goal percentage dito ng Globalport. And that Meralco defense has been unforgiving. That's the trademark of Meralco in this conference. They are the #1 team in defense.
JD, maatake na naman. Stops, pops and hits. 8-point lead enjoyed right now by Meralco. Difference of about 2 seconds from the game clock and the shot clock. Warner, will he attack? Well, there's a quick double.
You know, here's the luxury of Meralco. Onuaku's not even on the floor, and Warner really having a difficult time to get the shot. And that broke a 13-0 run by Meralco.
Amer knew exactly what the situation was. Hindi nga hinawakan yung bola until he got past midcourt. Gave them a few more precious seconds.
Well, ito yung masakit. Globalport already in the penalty with 2.2 seconds to go. They gave up the foul and a chance for Amer to hit free throws. Again, time management. You also have to make the right decisions given what the game conditions are. 2.2 seconds. Nagmamadaling Meralco to score. You don't give up the foul.
That's a heads-up play here by this young man, Baser Amer. He makes both free throws, and again he extends that lead back up to 8. Fourth shot. That would have counted if it went down. A very good start para sa Globalport here in the first 12 minutes, especially in the first 6 in this battle of upstarts. Pero kita natin, Jimmy Lapag exploding to the hoop, helping out Meralco's cause. That is Romeo doing what he does best, shaking, baking, and finding the open man. But in the end, Onuaku and the rest of the big men of Meralco just pounded it inside. And it's 25-17. Lamang ang Meralco after the first quarter.